Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
There's an all-out war going on to take down Donald Trump by any means necessary. I'm joined in studio now by Owen Shroyer. We're going to be talking about all the different angles to this, Owen. And we've got senators on board, government agencies, the Electoral College, you name it. It is like every possible angle imaginable. We're 5 weeks away from his inauguration. What do you make of these stories? I mean, we came into the office today. I'm like, is this really happening?
Well, it's an all-out assault. We still don't know what other angles they might take, including physical measures. But the craziest thing today, and you put this story on my desk, Mitch McConnell backs investigation into Russian hacking. McCain calls it warfare. Trump denies. Now, I actually was listening to Mitch McConnell when he made the statement this morning, and including the quote, "The Russians are not our friends." He was very demeaning of Russia. Mm-hmm. He was very now he didn't want to make any concrete statements, much like what we've seen from a lot of this. It's just kind of a lot of suspected. We have evidence, but they don't really have the evidence. But he did stand very clear on the fact that Russian influence was part of this election, and that Russians are not our friends.
Baseless.
So these are two things that are very anti-Russia.
Baseless claims, and the media is running wild with it. Not only is the media running wild with it, but we have, senators like McConnell and McCain. McCain cited in this New York Times article calling it, quote, warfare. Warfare, really, folks? I mean, we're talking about a situation that has been proven to be debunked, frankly. Alex covered this on the show. Of course, I'm talking about the hacking of the DNC. They've been claiming that the Russians have been doing it forever. Turns out, not true. We have a UK ambassador, you and I talked about this story this morning prior to getting on the air, who actually said, look, I met the DNC hacker. He's not a Russian. He was somebody that was burned about Bernie Sanders and having, that stolen from him. He decided to leak this information. It has nothing to do with Russia. And the fact that they keep hammering Russia, and we've got these two senators on board now saying that they're backing this investigation. Now, what investigation are they talking about? They're talking about multi-government agencies claiming that they have this trove of evidence. And here's another New York Times hit piece, CIA judgment on Russia built on swell of evidence. Oh, really? Oh, really?
Well, let's be clear. I went to dozens of Donald Trump rallies, okay? There were thousands and thousands of Americans there.
Yeah.
I didn't see Russians showing up to Donald Trump rallies. I might have run into a few Russians here or there, but no. The point is, it was the American people that got Donald Trump elected. And why they want to start, it's weird. It's like they really want this war with Russia. Mm-hmm. Even getting Trump in, you're still going to have people now from the Republican establishment like McConnell trying to drum up this war, this anti-Russia rhetoric.
His wife was named the Secretary of Labor, I believe.
Which I don't like that. I don't understand that move. But
I don't either.
Nonetheless, let's get back to the attack on Trump. Again, this is a story out of Yahoo. Suspected Russian cyber attack waged on Clinton campaign just days before vote. Now, you get into this story and again, they never deny these emails are real. What are they talking about? They're saying that the Russians hacked the DNC emails, the Podesta emails, and essentially is responsible for WikiLeaks. That's what they're really claiming here, right, without putting that concrete statement out, because they know that will come and bite them in the butt. But here's the funny thing about it. So I'm supposed to be mad at Russia for allegedly hacking the DNC emails, the Podesta emails, and getting them out to WikiLeaks. But what happened with the WikiLeaks emails? Of course they would have influenced the election. What was exposed? Corruption within the Clinton campaign, corruption within John Podesta, corruption within the DNC. So I'm supposed to be mad at the Russians for exposing corruption? And then let's take it one step further.
Okay.
If this hacking from the Russians actually happened, shouldn't we be concerned about the classified documents that Hillary Clinton had on a unprotected server? What happened to that whole argument? So they can't have their cake and eat it too here, Margaret.
What gets me? So the fact that they're claiming now that it was a hack on our democracy, it wasn't a hack on our democracy. Leave our democracy out of this, frankly. It was a hack on corrupt Democrats and specifically the corrupt Clinton machine. Now, I want to take you made this excellent point. So WikiLeaks, they went after WikiLeaks. We have this Iceland Minister of Interior, this government official, and he said, look, in 2011, the U.S. government under Obama sent a trove of FBI agents. They were going to frame Assange, frame WikiLeaks. He asked them to get out of his country, and we were doing it under the guise that their systems were hacked, and we were there to help them. And this Interior Minister, he was questioning it, and he said, look, this is highly suspicious. It turns out, according to him, they were going to just try to frame Assange. And what did Assange do, folks? And I know we're running out of time. He exposed the truth. That's all we're talking about here. And he's not a Russian agent, by the way. I mean, I don't know if people realize he's Swedish. He just likes the truth, apparently. And it's cost him everything. And the fact that we tried to frame him and set him up, I mean, does that speak to our legitimacy? Does that speak to the fact that the CIA, the same CIA, said, look, Saddam Hussein, and I'm sorry, we've beaten this like a dead horse, but I've got to say it again. Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, which is why we invaded Iraq. We know that that was an utter lie. And the fact that, why should we trust them now? Okay.
Well, and are they trying to start war with Russia? I mean, is that the game that they're playing here? And now you've got, again, Mitch McConnell making a very stern statement today, demonizing Russia. So, but like you said, they won't deny anything in the emails is real. Mm-hmm. They won't try to defend. How about that? How about a little defense about what was exposed in the email? Instead, they just want to attack Russia, attack Russia, attack Russia,
that's their only
demonize
defense.
Russia, and then spin it on its head to say, well, Trump got elected unfairly. Trump wasn't elected in a fair democratic process. And now, of course, the latest is you've got Jim Himes, a representative from Connecticut, a Democrat from Connecticut. Now he's on the war against Trump. Quote, we're 5 weeks from inauguration and the president-elect is completely unhinged. The Electoral College must do what it was designed for. Now, he makes this comment because of a tweet that Trump sent out. Unhinged.
Trump is unhinged.
Because he calls out corrupt media. Mm-hmm. So Trump calls out corrupt media. That's apparently unhinged. And then, but what's not unhinged is calling for the Electoral College to go against the will of the people, Jim Himes. Mm-hmm. Apparently that's not unhinged. No, that is what is unhinged. But here's the thing. He's saying that the reason the Electoral College was originally purposed was to keep people who are not qualified from being president or, unhinged from being president. No, the reason why we have the Electoral College is very easily illustrated right here in Trump's America. This is a map of the counties that Donald Trump won compared to the counties that Hillary Clinton won. As you can see, 80%, if not more, of the United States landmass was for Donald Trump. That's why we have the Electoral College, Mr. Himes. You are the one that is unhinged.
Seriously, not only is he unhinged, but it looks like some electors within the college are also unhinged because they filed this lawsuit. They're in the process of trying to sue, and this would affect 29 states. And what they're trying to do here, they're trying to say that the popular vote shouldn't determine the electoral. They're trying to break it apart. They're going rogue, Owen. It's really frightening. It's frightening at this point. And I'll tell you why it's frightening. Michael Moore made a very disturbing insinuation on a comedic show. I don't think it's any laughing matter. He said, look, anything could happen. We're 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out. And he was insinuating that Trump could be assassinated. That's what he was talking about.
Well, and who knows what he was insinuating. But of course, that's in the cards, I think, of what he was insinuating. And to make a laughing...
It sounded like it to me.
To make a laughing matter out of it is, like you said, it's really quite disturbing. And he was right. I mean, he did predict that Trump would win. He tried to pull that whole thing where he lured Trump voters in to listen to his documentary and then essentially bashed him. But isn't this just doing exactly what they always do, taking the reality and then flipping it on their head? What are they doing? They're the ones that are going rogue.
They are.
They're the ones that are interrupting our democratic process. They are the ones that are, but then they say that that's Trump. They say that that's the Russians. No, we know exactly what's going on. And it'll be interesting to me to see what happens with Mitch McConnell and his wife, considering their stances that are kind of against the grain for what Trump is saying.
Investigation into a president who just appointed your wife as a cabinet member. Explain the rationale.
It's very strange.
It's bizarre. Very strange. And this swell of evidence piece that the CIA has. So this is hilarious. This is the biggest joke news piece of the day. CIA judgment on Russia built on swell of evidence. And then literally the third paragraph into this, the CIA's conclusion does not appear to be the product of specific new intelligence obtained since the election. Let me translate that. There is no swell of evidence.
Is this the fake news from New York Times?
Pretty much.
The same rag that wants to defend pedophilia.
We're out of time. Goodness. Check this article out, guys. Actually, this story, it's going to be in the nightly news tonight with David Knight. Be sure and tune in. It'll be up on YouTube later. I'm Margaret Howell reporting with Owen Shroyer.
In case you haven't heard, Infowars has become the most influential media outlet in America. We're making freedom go viral. And now we are proud to announce a new weapon in the epic battle against the globalists. Infowars Prime, where you can watch live high-definition feeds of The Alex Jones Show, plus exclusive insider videos from the Infowars crew and behind-the-scenes action. Go to Infowars.com/app and download today. Infowars Prime is available right now for your iPhone or Android. You will have access to exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else. And that means live coverage of events and breaking news on location as it happens. You can also take advantage of amazing deals from the Infowars store that are only available for Infowars Prime subscribers. That's Infowars Prime at Infowars.com/app. And if you can hear my voice, you are the resistance.